Comcast NBC Universal's Sports Tech 2022. I am Zuri Hall. You may recognize me from my work as an entertainment journalist. I'm a correspondent for Access Hollywood, a sideline reporter for NBC's American Ninja Warrior, and a big fan of track and field.
Ooh.
I like a little basketball.
Okay.
And the NFL is my jam.
And I'm WWE superstar Mike the Miz Mizzano, star of the USA reality series Miz and Mrs. Love me or hate me, I'm the most captivating, entertaining superstar on the brand.
We love you.
Yes, thank you very much. We are so happy to be your stewards on this journey.
Your hosts with the most.
The feet on your accelerator.
I don't think we're talking about that kind of accelerator.
We are not. I just want the people to feel our support.
Okay, I think they're picking up what we're putting down, Miz. We are very supportive of the 10 startup teams you'll meet today.
They're changing the game when it comes to discovering and championing new sports technologies.
Yep, let's find out what they've been up to for the past 3 months.
Welcome to the future of sports tech. What you're about to see is the culmination of a search by Comcast and their partner Boomtown for startups to join the second class of Comcast NBC Universal Sports Tech's 3-month accelerator.
800 companies from over 44 countries around the world applied to the program, and these 10 innovative startups were selected for this year's accelerator.
The Comcast NBC Universal Sports Tech Accelerator brings together some of the world's leading sports partners. It also provides the entrepreneurs with experienced advisors to help them on their journey to success.
Today, we are taking you inside the accelerator to see how these startups work shoulder to shoulder with our partners to create businesses that will change the future of sports, its athletes, and its fans.
We'll have more about our amazing partners in just a bit, but first, Texas played a big part in this year's accelerator. So let's kick things off with Local Sports Network, the team filming the real Friday Night Lights.
I've lived abroad, lived a lot of different parts of the country, but somehow I always found my way back to Texas.
Our hometown of Newton, Texas is what inspired us to build Local Sports Network.
Here, high school sports are everything. You kind of know what positions and numbers you're gonna play based on what other people in your family did. Those get passed down as birthright here. You grow up wanting to play, then you play, and you spend the rest of your life as a fan.
People play sports here for life. So when COVID happened, our hometown social activities basically stopped because the football games, sporting events were those social events.
And now because of that, there is just this new need and demand for a video streaming solution in the youth sports space.
What's unique about our approach is we help bridge the gap between athletic departments and IT departments in ways that traditional vendors do not. We understand that athletic departments are a bunch of coaches. They don't understand tech usually. We understand that IT departments are very technical, but they don't understand sports. We fill that gap, and we do it by putting all of the best tools in the market in one place and giving everybody at the school peace of mind knowing that they don't have to manage it.
So LSN is providing focus on the high school sports area, and certainly for the sports regionals and in the local news area where I work, that's always been an elusive space. People always want to cover high school sports because there's such a rabid fan base.
We grew up with a lot of people who were really great athletes, but didn't have an avenue to be able to get that out to the world. And so for us to be able to help young athletes showcase their skills is something that's actually very rewarding.
Part of it is just the heavy lifting, and that's the reason we haven't spent more time covering it. We will usually, as a business, pick 1 or 2 games a week. They bring a scale, and not a mass scale, but a scale that is much higher than we could ourselves, and at a price point that's reasonable.
We help athletic departments centralize and monetize their fan engagement tools.
So you can go one place, watch games, buy apparel, buy tickets, and have conversations with other sports fans.
The opportunity there is they have this scalable way to cover these events, and then we have a great distribution opportunity.
We'll start probably pretty narrow and really target probably the ingestion of their video stream to our user base as a really easy, straightforward first step.
At Local Sports Network, we understand that everything we do is bigger than an individual game. It's about a series of traditions and rituals related to family, identity, memory, and desire playing out over and over again. Our goal is to be the place that makes you feel as connected to sports anytime you log into the app as you would if you were on the field playing or at the facility watching that game.
man, that looks incredible. Do you understand that Little Miz would have loved that? Like, I was the captain of the cross-country team, baseball team. Like, I played every sport there could possibly imagine.
Yeah,
it was
brag
incredible.
on us a little bit more.
I mean, do you want me to? I mean, I don't think we have time.
I don't. We do not have time, but that is very impressive.
Thank you.
I cannot imagine how cool that would have been if you'd had that at your age. Awesome that they do. And back to Texas, halfway through this year's program, the teams and partners met up in the Lone Star State. They say everything is bigger in Texas, and this event was no exception.
Welcome to Texas. 8 days, 4 epic sports partners pulling off 3 amazing sporting events. And we're here with our sports tech founders and our partners within the consortium. The first stop is with NASCAR and the Circuit of America's race. The second stop is the Valero Texas Open, where we'll see some of the most amazing golfers in the world. And the last stop is WRESTLEMANIA, a mega event in its own right. What's unique is that our founders are getting a behind-the-scenes look at these 3 sporting events. They're understanding the technology behind it, how we pull off major productions on events and courses that are 150 acres. The other amazing part of this is just the deep networking and the connections that they're getting and the time that they're spending with our sports partners. These are decision makers who they were teaming up with on pilots and proof of concepts to test their technology. We're going to look at ways to bring new and innovative fan experiences to the forefront, bring fans perspective and camera angles through the eyes of an athlete that they've never seen before. This is a really unique opportunity where across multiple sports, we're testing technology to make fans closer to the action.
If you thought that looked fun, wait until you see what our next team is working on. Headvantage is led by an ex-fighter pilot, and trust me, you are in for a ride.
So the origin story for me started by flying the A-10, the fighter jet. And everything we see as pilots out the front of the airplane is recorded, and it was called the HUD, the head-up display. And it shows our dive angle, airspeed, the reticle where the missile's looking. And when we land, we watch the tapes and we debrief and train with that. So the idea was, if this is the way we train ourselves to be good fighter pilots, why wouldn't we do the same thing with athletes? And that was the birthplace of Headvantage.
It's going to finally give us that angle and viewpoint that we haven't been able to deliver yet from a camera standpoint.
We're showing not only what the athlete could see from their vantage point in real time, but also where their eyes are looking.
And then they have these cameras that best described as like literally this less than the size of the head of a pin, and they're looking back at your eyes.
The concept of eye tracking is so interesting, and being able to see what an athlete sees and where they look.
And that now brings us into the mind of the athlete. You will see what he saw, you'll see the decision she made, and then the action they took. So it's bringing complete immersion to the fan.
They're creating a platform that will allow us to create live sports content in a much different way and provide a vantage point, no pun intended, for the consumer that they haven't experienced before, which is really a first-person kind of point of view from the athlete.
If you could imagine a telecast with an NFL quarterback and he rolls back, and you could see the perspective of his eyes moving to see what he's seeing and help you appreciate the split-second sort of decision-making that he does. Now it's even a more immersive experience.
As his technology improves over time, we can basically stream live from these helmet cameras or from these first-person point of views that we've not been able to before.
One of the areas that we've struggled with historically is to be able to get more and more on the field. And what we're seeing with Headvantage is a real opportunity to be able to get to an area that has previously been completely prohibitive.
The other thing is a better approach from a coaching standpoint. It's just going to provide a lot more value to the coaching and training aspects of a number of sports.
We can say all of our best athletes, when they're approaching the half pipe, they are looking up the pipe. When our more developmental, our younger athletes are maybe looking down at their board. And those are the sorts of things that we just have no idea about right now.
That's a pretty powerful technique coach that we've never had the opportunity to access previously.
We want to be embedded in NBC Sports or Sky Sports. so that fans all over the world can be the athlete, see what they see where they look, and really, really love what they're seeing even more than they do today. So fans all over the world want more and more immersion, and we can bring that to the table.
Wow.
Right? I mean,
impressive.
I'm always a guy that when I watch something on TV, I'm like, I can do that, no problem.
Right.
Now I'm going to be able to see what they're seeing and go, I can't do that.
Can't do it.
There's no way.
Don't do it.
Not going to happen.
More appreciation for the athleticism for sure. Hey, we promised innovation and we are delivering. Next up, we've got Let's Chat. They have come up with a method of real-time translation that is changing the way groups chat online. Get ready to be wowed in every language.
I've traveled all over the United States, all over the world, been to 24 different countries, and everywhere I traveled, we had a language barrier. And so that really inspired us to create Let's Chat.
Let's Chat specializes in real-time language translation solutions and innovations. We do anywhere from video, VOD subtitling, so pre-recorded content, to websites, mobile apps, chat support, phone calls, text messages.
And more importantly, they do video subtitling translation, and they can even do live translation. So potentially taking a live broadcast feed and translating it on the fly at that moment.
It's 98.7% accurate. It's faster. It's 104 different languages.
So it's not based off where you're located, it's based off of what you prefer to see in it. And that's a really big deal because a lot of the other companies that do translation are based off your IP address, so where you're physically located.
So we can, essentially put their solution onto our websites, and when the user comes and whatever language their device is set in, they're going to start to see our content in that language, which is phenomenal. That's something we can't do right now, so it's really opening up a completely new audiences.
People always said golf is niche. How are we going to get all different types of people and age ranges and whatever? But the ability to translate that over, we know, is massively powerful. So if we can get a hold of new populations, that'd be great too.
One of our clients is the NFL.
So we actually last season did all of the video subtitling for the NFL Game Pass.
Watson, and he goes down. No, he stays on his feet, throws on the run, touchdown!
So the ability to go and show to people that speak another language internationally as well as here, it really helps a lot.
This year we're launching a new streaming service, Sky Showtime, in 22 territories across Europe. So we're taking the best content from Peacock, NBCU, Sky, Viacom, CBS and Showtime. That doesn't all come in all European languages.
Chimichanga! These pillows are filled with baby birds!
And the subtitle and translation services they offer could be a game changer for us.
Chimichanga, estas son ofertas cheese de pesos, baby.
We're able to translate all of their content, really. We can translate 2,000 plus videos, all any length of time, in a matter of seconds, if not minutes.
Thanks to a lot of the partners in this accelerator program is they actually want a new product from Let's Chat, and so we created a deepfake technology.
We'll find out next, live on WWE Raw.
So it'll change the mouth and change the audio into the native language of the viewer.
Send attention, be Dalek, ELW, W, he call me.
Or whatever languages they want in, coming out in the actual voice of the speaker. It's a lot of fun, especially seeing our clients' faces when they're like, whoa, I can now translate my website. I can translate my customer interactions. My VOD content is now translated. And seeing customers interacting with what I built is just the greatest thing I could have experienced.
So wait, I can finally speak French without ever having to learn French?
Yeah, my wife speaks French, and I don't understand what she's saying.
Here you go.
But now we got a whole lingo going. We're in there. We are in there. Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, these teams are really incredible. Yeah. Before we move on, though, let's talk a little more about the partners of the program because they're pretty amazing, too. Jenna Karath has more about them.
Hi, I'm Jenna Karath, Vice President of Startup Partnerships, and I have the privilege of leading our Comcast NBCU Sports Tech Accelerator Program. The Accelerator Program was created to find, fund, and fast-track the best startups in sports technology to work alongside the world's leading sports organizations. None of what you are about to see would be possible without our partners. And this year, we've added 2 big names in sports to our already impressive roster.
Comcast NBC Universal brought together a spectacular list of partners for the Sports Tech Accelerator, including NBC Sports, Sky Sports, Comcast Spectacor, Golf, NASCAR, PGA Tour, WWE, and US Ski and Snowboard, USA Cycling, and USA Swimming.
The idea that some of our key leaders or high potential leaders get the ability to work with these early stage companies, it's actually a rewarding experience for them as well. So they're just as excited about working with these startups as the startups are to work with NBC Sports.
And so what the accelerator has done for me is really start to narrow the field down to, who are the best and brightest that are out there in the marketplace that have relevant technology.
The startups were selected to participate based on their technology solutions, focusing on the accelerator's 8 key areas: fan-player engagement, athlete-player performance, media and entertainment, venue and event innovation, team and coach success, business of sports, fantasy sports and betting, and esports.
To kind of be able to sit down and listen to these men and women talk about where they want to take their company, and be able to provide any little bit of advice or suggestion and see it kind of grow into something is valuable and, more importantly, fun.
The partners had a hand in every stage of the program, from choosing the teams to mentoring them to helping them build pilots and proofs of concept, collaborating every step of the way to move the teams forward together.
It's awesome that we have invigorated people who live, sleep it, and breathe it, that we can partner with and go, okay, we need that. You love this idea of doing it. Get working, because we're ready to put it to the test.
Okay, wow, those are some powerful partners back in these companies. And this next one sounds delicious, but Ice Cream Social has nothing to do with frozen treats, okay? It actually has everything to do with keeping your friends updated about the coolest, latest thing you bought and giving them the option to buy it too. So maybe it could be about ice cream?
Sure.
So let's say someone purchases a ticket to your event. At that confirmation checkout page, that's when they're most excited to let everyone know that they're attending. So we ask them to invite their friends. And while inviting their friends, they can send their friends a discount. And if they get a certain amount of friends to actually click through and purchase tickets, we give them a reward.
Now it's really around engagement and those really loyal audiences and what more you can get out of them. And so this is a great way to take your loyalists and turn them into brand advocates. And also brings value to them because they get a benefit of, if I can convert 5 people, then I'm getting something out of this too.
If you take what it costs you to acquire a customer for a Facebook ad, whatever type of advertising you're doing, what we're finding is Ice Cream Social has the lowest cost per acquisition across these different marketing channels.
Golf Now built a really successful business. A lot of it is word of mouth. A lot of it is people telling people, you got to go to Golf Now. They have all the golf courses. They got good rates, et cetera, et cetera. But we've never really taken advantage of rewarding people for doing that. And so sounds like a really easy concept. But again, most really great businesses were a really easy concept that somebody found a simple way to activate it and execute it. And I think Ice Cream Social did that as well.
The other benefit is we all get spam. These are actually coming from the influencer. So you're seeing something in your inbox or something on social that's coming from somebody that you trust as a either friend or influencer, somebody that you respect.
We also allow golfers on Golf Now to book for the entire foursome. So if you have a single person that's booking for all 4 people, we don't even know the names of those other 3 people.
What we're looking to explore is a way for them to use Ice Cream Social to gather the data of those other 3 people.
So you think of a database standpoint of building our database of saying, who are your other 3 people that played with you today? As a thank you for you booking for them, we'd like to give them a $5 gift card next time they come to Golf Now. All of a sudden, we start to collect golfers 2, 3, and 4.
Which would allow them to grow their database and market to more people that they know are highly targeted and relevant to the audience they're trying to reach, and essentially be able to book more golf tee times.
Being able to convert people from maybe somebody who's aware of your brand to somebody who's a loyalist to then somebody who's an influencer, and that exponentially growing and that influencing the number of your audience size, influencing your revenue is ultimately, what we would see as a win across any of our brands.
Our vision with Ice Cream Social is to master that gamification of word of mouth marketing and getting back to, what's important, our customers, our fans attending the events and making it fun for them. And Events are more fun when our friends go with us.
Speaking of being social and sharing with friends, Book Seats will help you book a sports travel experience that is sure to create memories. Take a look.
Technology to automate golf travel isn't very good. Air, hotel, tee times, being able to go on and book that online through a booking engine and a really cool UI. Everyone's tried it and nobody's done a very good job at it.
So is there a way that you can provide a solution that allows a fan to adjust all the specifics that they might need going into that event? Do they need a hotel? Do they need airfare? Do they need rental cars? It's not just about buying the ticket, it's that whole experience.
Bookseats.com is an event travel platform that allows fans to build and book custom packages that include any combination of flights, hotels, and tickets to events around the world. We're working with a few partners of the program with our white label event travel service, which is really exciting. And we're working closely with the team at Golf Now and Golf Pass to solve a big gap in the golf marketplace. We have proven that our technology helps users build and book travel around a specific event and a venue. So we're replacing stadiums for golf courses and tickets with tee times, a frictionless online experience that will allow golfers to book custom golf vacations to courses and destinations around the world.
Our fans buy tickets and then they buy these like higher end packages. So we thought of Book Seats as sort of that interim, right? So as Joseph talks about, so taking like that regular fan and turning them into an avid fan, I think that resonates with us as a brand.
Traditionally, properties send fans to a prepackaged platform where there's no flexibility or customization and can be very expensive for the average fan. Or fan has that one hero friend. They have to research, calculate costs, book and pay through a number of different services. Bookseats.com is that hero friend, an easy and cost-effective way to book your event travel.
They have done a very good job putting together the hotel, the airline, and they've done it with tickets to sporting events.
Your personal experience when you go to those, those weekends or you spend your weekend away, those are investments. So while we can control the experience at the racetrack itself, we can't control what the rest of that is. If we can work with partners like Book Seats to make it easier and more convenient for our fans so it becomes less of a hassle or challenge for them, that probably will add to the likelihood that they're going to return to our events.
You know what I'm ready to do?
What are you ready to do?
I'm ready to call some friends and book some trips.
You and me both.
You wanna
Let's
know where?
Go. Where are you going?
Oh, we're going ringside, baby.
Oh, baby! Here we go! Here we go!
But first,
Okay.
just back to this really quickly.
Okay.
There is nothing I can say that will prepare you for the brilliance behind our next team movers. So let's just show you.
We empower the next generation of sports content by capturing biomechanically accurate human motion data live in real time. We use computer vision, so it's totally markerless, no wearables.
The beauty of data is that the opportunity to use it becomes endless.
By really capturing the player movement and motion and the type of data that can then provide to us that we could then turn into some type of really amazing visualization and or just even commentary from a broadcast standpoint is really exciting. It's something that no one else is doing.
We work with the data that comes out of that. We utilize in 3 main use cases. In the live broadcast to better tell sports stories, for sports gambling to create new proprietary betting products, and also to create new 3D content formats inside of game engines like Unity and Unreal.
Imagine, somebody's going down the half pipe and, they come off the side and you see them fly in the air, but you don't know how high they're going. We can probably get that a little bit later and tell you, but if you could have it in the moment, like how much more engaging and exciting would that be for the audience that's watching it?
Skeletal tracking at any scale and volume can become a large infrastructure problem.
One of the big values that the technology offers is that it's relatively easily deployable and relatively cost effective. Normal motion capture is not applicable in most scenarios, and for motion capture that it is, we're talking really, really high-end expensive projects.
And enables us to capture data where we previously thought we wouldn't be able to, either through cost or time to rig and set up.
Because we can capture that data, we can make some pretty interesting predictions around likelihood of event outcome, whether that's Rory McIlroy and how close he hits a ball to the pin, or whether that who's most likely to swing next in a boxing match, or who's most likely to get punched in the face.
And then once you have that data, the opportunity to productize it or create a consumer or viewer interaction with that, whether it be a straightforward use case with our talent in a studio, or something you can interact with on your phone or shadow at home using some of the new innovation we have in our new Sky Glass product.
So we can show the viewers new angles they've never seen before. We can recreate the live event in a virtual setting, animated, and offer a new view or even a new proposition to customers.
The actual sports experience that we wanted to create at the end of the day was, can somebody stand next to LeBron James with an AR headset on, or a VR headset, or in the metaverse, and can you actually stand there and watch as LeBron James shoots the game-winning shot in the NBA final? Not courtside, not in good seats, but can you stand next to him on the court?
The lack of latency really separates movers from competitors. We can recreate the live event in under 5 seconds and get that out to our customers.
We see ourselves as an empowerer. Right? We just want to empower the next generation of how content creators can actually engage with fans and consumers.
I mean, someone had this idea in their brain, and technology and this accelerator made it happen. We've already seen the evidence of the success of the accelerator today, but we also want to take a look back at the teams who have been in these shoes before. Bill Connors introduces us to a few alumni from last year's program.
We created the Sports Tech Accelerator program in 2020 to bring together the best startups in sports tech with the world's top sports organizations. And while it's incredible to see the collaboration that happens during the program, it was important for us to see and show you what happens after these founders graduate the accelerator. To answer the question, do the accomplishments achieved here translate into real-world success? So this year, we went back to check in on a few alumni from our inaugural program to see how things are going. Say hello again to Brenda D'Souza from Dibs, Kelly Prock from InVenue, and Carlos Walks from XIQ.
It's been a year since we jumped into the accelerator, but what's happened in the months since has been just amazing.
We came with a great idea, with great people, with great tech, and the folks at Comcast Sports Tech gave us the legs, and now we're running.
12 intense weeks of progress, and for us, it achieved that one main thing that we wanted, which was access to decision makers.
We are in a position that we get to have very, very high-level conversations with literally the gatekeepers.
Just the ability to talk to teams and leagues and the people who put sports on TV is absolutely amazing.
We knew our identity. We understood what we wanted to do, but we really needed to connect with forward-thinking decision makers, with corporations to move the needle. And that's exactly what the accelerator did. It opened those doors so I could talk directly with people that not only were looking for innovation, but understood what we were here to do and how we could solve their problems on a grand scale.
Being in the Sports Tech Accelerator gave us that education, that ability to, talk at the same level of some of these people that there's no way we would have a chance to ever meet outside this world.
This is not just an accelerator. It's a partnership on steroids. There's a ton of work. It doesn't just last 12 weeks. It starts before, and we're still talking and being part of Comcast Sports Tech.
I didn't realize that I was going to be in this family, in this ecosystem of opportunity forever. I thought it was 12 weeks and you're done.
It gave us a family. The Comcast and the Boomtown team really invested in us, not just financially, but also personally.
What the accelerator truly brings is it gives you credibility. It says that here's a group of people that have vetted you. They have brought their partners in to talk to you.
We can come to the table and say, well, NASCAR's one of our partners that we're developing with, and we have Golf Channel, we have NBC Sports, and this is what we're actively doing with them.
We put our content on air for NBC MLB games. We raised our seed round. We also just recently put our content on Apple TV with the MLB Network.
Oh, and by the way, we're working with the biggest communications company on the planet, and they're backing us.
They gave us the ability to try and execute on a trial with a major organization. And that gave us the credibility to go and say to other teams, hey, we've done this. And these people are vouching for us.
We put in the work and we had the results. And that's what the accelerator is about. You know, they bring the opportunity to the table and they say, dive right in.
Success is in the air. Can you feel it? And it is great to see the effects of this program even further down the road. Maybe we'll see this next group pop up in 2023's Alumni Salute. They've created a meet and greet site for athletes, and they're calling it, what else? Meetly.
Wouldn't it be incredible, like after the end of the Daytona 500, that fans could be receiving an actual live one-on-one call after the race with one of their favorite drivers to actually talk about some of the events that happened that race? So Meetly's an opportunity to give fans the ability to meet one of their favorite athletes for a 4-minute one-on-one virtual meet and greet. And what's really special about Meetly is that every call helps a charity that's associated with that athlete.
You know, we pride ourselves in access to our sport and access to, you know, the ability to get on the field of play, to go out and see the cars and be part of the festivities. And what a wonderful way also now to meet your favorite driver in a unique setting on one-on-one, knowing that it's all going to a good cause.
You know, imagine a youth team who gets a pep talk from a famous athlete before maybe a big game or the start of their season.
The real experience of having a conversation about what was it like facing this pitcher, or when you played that game against that team and you caught that touchdown in the fourth quarter. What was going through your mind?
There I am, never thinking I would do a National World Series on TV, and I'm saying the Yankees are world champions of baseball. It's just kind of crazy.
The other part that's really intriguing to us is building the stars of the future. We have 36 drivers that compete in the Cup Series, our premier series, but that's very few drivers when you think about it. So we got to build the future brands, the future stars of our sport. And is this also an opportunity for those future stars to start to become more familiar, become more brand recognized, you know, out in the marketplace?
And for the athlete side, it's great because they get to see how important they are to these fans on a one-on-one basis. And they get to see and hear, you know, about special moments that they maybe have in their career that meant so much to these fans.
We have to watch the game, like, but I cannot live without the game.
I love it, I love it, I love it. That makes my day, man. That makes my day.
My fans have always supported me, allowed me to do what I love for a living. And it's my pleasure to give back to them, and it allows me to give back to charities I care about.
We recently launched a loyalty program called Xfinity Rewards, with the whole idea being we're adding value back to your subscription as a customer. And you can see a world where receiving a phone call from your favorite athlete as part of being part of that program, you know, courtesy of Meetly, could be an interesting way to connect the dots. If you look at social media, like millions of fans every day, you know, reach out to their favorite athletes for just hoping for a like or a heart. And with Meetly, we can do so much better, but we can give fans the real experience of having a conversation with somebody who they really admire and look up to.
All right, Mike, I got a question for you.
Oh boy.
What do you like about being able to connect with your fans through tech like this?
Oh, WWE is all about fan interaction. Boo who you hate, cheer who you love.
Yeah.
But this allows you even more personal, like, interaction with your fans.
Yeah.
You gotta love it.
It is amazing. I do love that. Our next team is all about athletes creating their own opportunity and calling the shots when it comes to their careers. This is Uru Sports.
You put all of your heart and soul into your sport from a very young age. And then as that starts to wind down, I think there's that wondering about what the next step is.
When I was playing pro field hockey overseas, I realized how many opportunities there are that athletes know nothing about, and how powerful having a knowledgeable and well-connected network can be to finding great opportunities. So Uru Sports is the professional network for elite athletes, and we're helping athletes navigate the next stage of their career in a more approachable, meaningful, and community-led way.
WWE kind of superstar is very unique in the sense that they have to be athletic. They have to have so many aspects to them. You know, they go through a lot. They go through a level and rigor of training, and that carries on in through the future.
Sports uniquely equip athletes to stand out off the field, and they bring that determination, teamwork, competitiveness to everything they do in the workplace. So we're super focused on helping athletes win their next opportunity. And so unlike other job boards, LinkedIn, or community platforms, we're really focused on serving the athlete.
And so part of that process is helping them finish college or find a job or an internship or something that interests them with whatever is next for them in life.
Athlete career and education is something that is really important to us in terms of helping our athletes develop and giving them a place to land next.
So we showcase athletes in their best light, showcasing how the soft skills that they've learned throughout their athletic career translate to the business world.
It is one of our big initiatives at the moment to try to become a more diverse organization. And I think that this gives us the ability to tap into a group of athletes who have experience in sports, and they may not be related to our sports, but that same dedication and skill set that we're looking for to drive excellence lives within Uru.
Sports are a universal language, and our community really has the power and platform to really make an impact. Our athletes will be part of unifying, diversifying, and bettering the world.
Comcast is synonymous with innovation, and their Sports Tech Accelerator isn't the only way they are playing in the startup space. For more on that, here's Sam Schwartz.
Hi, I'm Sam Schwartz, the Chief Business Development Officer at Comcast. The entrepreneurial culture at Comcast began with our founder, Ralph Roberts. It's woven into the DNA of our company. And working with startups infuses the entrepreneurial spirit that Ralph sparked throughout the organization in a way that challenges our employees to go beyond the status quo as they test and experiment alongside these innovative founders. As one of the world's largest distributors of sports content, investing in and developing the next great sports technologies brings tangible business value across Comcast, NBC Universal, and Sky. Through sports tech, we gain insight and strengthen industry relationships while uncovering opportunities that can improve and differentiate the athlete and fan experience for our customers, as well as elevate our standing as both a sports and technology industry leader. Congratulations to all these founders for their hard work and accomplishments thus far. I'm excited to see their continued success.
Okay, this next team is definitely putting the tech in sports tech, and they are doing it for a good cause. They've made it possible to donate money with just a little tap, a tip tap, if you will.
Tip tap. Tip tap.
Tip tap.
Tip tap. Tip tap.
TipTap Sports was founded to let more youth play the sports that they love.
So TipTap Sports is really a system that helps people collect more, supports their fundraising efforts for sports.
It's just a unique, innovative solution, contactless payment, great opportunities, I think, both within sports and beyond to leverage that technology. And the really cool thing about them in particular is they're focused on charity and fundraising.
Nobody's carrying cash and coin anymore, so often when you go by the grocery store, you hear, "Sorry, I have no change." And we have a tiny little device.
It allows people to donate by tapping their debit card, their credit card, or their phone. And by doing so, they're able to donate to the charity that they're interested in or help the team that they're really there watching to fundraise and get more kids into sport.
You can put together a very quick display that will capture attention, but also capture the donation immediately and let the person move on without having to go to a URL to find a place to make the donation to get captured elsewhere. It's a great portable opportunity.
Where we can collect anywhere, anytime for your fundraising efforts, others cannot.
I work with a nonprofit called Youth on Course. And so the opportunity for us to, just put their little tip-tap placards right at the cash register. So when people are coming in to check in for the round of golf, if they want to donate $5 and that gives a kid a round of golf, someone that might not be able to have access to golf.
Can you imagine actually every single golf course across North America supporting kids getting on the greens? You're going to see an explosion in the love for golf and youth golf, which is something we all want to see.
At the same time, we see an opportunity working with NASCAR to make it easier for fans to be able to buy their water or their hot dog in their seat. We see an opportunity to help the merchandise team at NASCAR be able to sell more t-shirts and alleviate the lines that they currently experience at these events.
It's really about getting them back to the game or the event and increasing that fan experience.
Tip-tap. Tip-tap.
Tip-tap.
Tip-tap.
Tip-tap.
It's expensive to play sports nowadays, and not everybody has the means. So through our fundraising efforts and our support for different teams' fundraising efforts, we're able to bring those funds to the kids that need it.
So when you see a child or you see a kid who's been able to benefit from our efforts and is able to get into that sport or excel at that sport and not have to worry about the high cost of being part of that sport, that's really rewarding to us.
Tip-tap. Tip-tap.
Tip-tap.
Tip-tap.
Tip-tap.
I don't know about you, but I'm getting inspired.
Oh, same.
If you have a business or idea you've been thinking about bringing to life, listen up. Because this amazing program for startups will happen again in 2023. Jenna Kurath has all the details.
If you have an idea that will reshape the world of sports, we're looking for you. We'd love for you to join our next cohort. Startups can learn more and apply online anytime at ComcastSportsTech.com.
And next year, we could be talking about you and your team.
Me? Oh, you mean them. I mean you, your idea, your team.
There we go. That's it. Exactly. But right now we are talking about Moneyline, and they've come up with a way to simplify fantasy sports betting. And for the record, Mike, I'd put my money on you.
Thank you.
So Moneyline is a mobile app where casual and a younger sports fan can make player predictions.
The more player predictions you guess correctly, the more money that you win.
And they can play for free or deposit in the app and play for real money as well.
They've just come up with a unique and novel way to allow people to kind of take a toe in the water approach to sports betting.
So one of the biggest questions in sports betting today is how do we get casual bettors to stick around? One of the things that they've been able to do is develop some of the best conversion rates from free-to-play games over into the more advanced stages of betting that people don't really understand today.
We saw that a lot of people for sports betting products felt that it was really intimidating and confusing. So we wanted to build something that got younger and casual sports fans into the sports gaming space where they could play for free and in a more simpler version, and then kind of graduate into our real money game and maybe even eventually into a sports betting product.
These are people who, maybe don't even know what a money line is, or, what's like plus, what's plus 100 mean to someone, or, negative like 150 mean to someone, and really just kind of helping them, understand the language and the lingo and get comfortable with sports betting.
A lot of our picks are really simplified so that looking at the app, it's not intimidating to understand, who's going to throw more touchdowns today, Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady. And it's a much easier style of betting.
Because they're really not competing with the online sports books today, because their approach is just different. It's a different type of game. It's a different type of way to play real money games.
So if I imagine the future, I could see them really interacting with telecasts of whether it's streaming on Peacock or it's on cable.
People are winning money on the app and having fun with it, and it's something they can watch a game and be more engaged in it. So it's a really powerful product.
Putting an engaging, competitive factor into viewership, kind of a third dimension, if you will, that I just think will help us as a company who pays big money for sports rights and who wants to really engage people in the game or the sport even more than they are. And so I see a company like Moneyline evolving into something that could be part of live sporting events.
So for me, I'm stubborn and competitive and a lifelong sports fan, but I've actually not been converted to a sports book on my own. The question of Moneyline is, if you can convert me, you might have a business on your hands here. So I'm really excited for them.
Oh, wow. I am betting on their success.
You and me both. This has been so fun.
It really has.
Yes, good times. We hope you've had a great time too.
And what about these entrepreneurs? Thank you, founders. We can't wait to see what the future holds. It seems like it's in pretty good hands.
Oh, yeah, especially when it comes to sports tech. And thank you to all the advisors and the mentors for sharing your knowledge and your time.
This has been Comcast NBC Universal Sports Tech 2022.
That's right. Goodbye, everyone. See you next year.